Okay, in this concept, we're going to talk about simple interest formula. And to find the interest, you basically take the principal amount and multiply it by the annual interest rate, and then multiply by how many years um, the interest rate applies for. Okay, so let's say we had a principal of, let's start from the principal of $100, right? If we had $100 and then we had an interest rate annually of, let's say, 10%, so we would write it as, 0.10, right, as a decimal. This is the same as, 10%, right? And then we had, let's say, 5 years, right? So the total amount that we would pay in interest, the dollar amount, not the interest rate. Okay, so the interest rate is here, this R. The dollar amount paid in interest is I. Okay, so 100 times a tenth is 10, right? So this is 10 times 5, so that's $50. So the interest paid over the 5 years, right, at a rate of 10% of 100 is $50, which makes sense, right? So every year you're going to have, again, so a tenth of 100 is 10 per year, and then over 5 years it would be 50, right? So interest is the amount of money that the bank or other financial institution pays for the use of money. Okay, so money's treated as, a commodity, something to be bought and sold. So if you're being lent money, the price for lending you that money is the interest. Okay, like we discussed, the principal is the amount of money invested or borrowed. So it's the initial amount that is given to you. Let's look at an example. Mrs. Brown borrowed $1,950 to buy furniture. She will pay $95.45 per month for 24 months. What is the interest rate? So first we find the total amount paid over the entire term of the loan, right? Which in this case is 24 months. So if Mrs. Brown is going to be paying 95.45 for 24 months, she will have paid a total of $2,290.80 over the 24 months. Okay, this is the total amount paid. Okay, then we can find the interest amount. Remember, in this problem, we're being asked to find the interest rate. So first we have to find the interest amount, right, the dollar amount, and then find out what percentage of the total paid is that interest amount, okay, which gives us the interest rate. So then find the interest amount. So we take the total amount paid, which is $2,290.80, subtract the initial value of the loan. Okay, so Mrs. Brown borrowed 1950, right? So subtract 1950 from 2290 and 80 cents. You get $340.80. That's the interest amount. Okay, so if again the principal is 1950, the term is 24 months, right? And now we're looking for the rate. So using the formula to find the rate, essentially we have so I is the interest amount, right? So I would be this, right? So this is I, and then times P, which is the principal, 1950, and then R is what we're looking to find, right? That's the interest rate. And then the time in years is 2 years. Okay, remember, in our case here, we're putting the time in years. So 24 months would be 2 years. If you had some other, number of months, you would have to convert it to years using the appropriate conversion. So for example, 18 months would have been 1.5 years, 19 months would have been, so that's 1 full year. and it is some number of months over 12, right? So this would be 7 over 12, right? Because 1 year is 12 months, and then you have 7 more months to get 19, but the remainder is 7 over 12. So 19 months is this many years. Okay, just as a quick example to show you how to convert from any other units of time to years. So now once we have this, what we could do now is, so the goal is to isolate the r, which is the unknown, isolate it to one side of the equation. So we'll have, so 340, so 1950, we could say 1950 times 2, you can multiply the like terms, right? Both of these are just constants. So you get 3,900, right? So 1950 times 2 is 3,500 times r, and then 340 on this end. And then what we could do is divide both sides by 3,900, right? So 340.80 cents divided by 3,900 is equal to r. So that gives us 0.087, which is 8.7%. So again, remember, to convert from a decimal to a percentage, you have to multiply by 100, or you move the decimal point 2 places to the right, so it'll be this way, and add the percentage sign. Okay? Let's look at our exercise. Please pause the video, work on this, and come back for the solution. Okay, so John borrowed $2,500 to buy a new TV. Okay, he will pay $114 a month for 24 months. What is the interest rate? So again, to find the interest rate, in this case, we would have to first find the interest amount. Okay, how many dollars were paid in interest? So the total payment, the total amount paid by John over the entire term of the loan, which is 24 months, is going to be equal to 114 times 24 months, and that's going to give me $2,736. $2,736. 2736. Okay, that's the total amount. The interest amount, okay, will be equal to, which is I, that'll be equal to 2736, which is the total paid, minus the initial value of the loan, which is, which is 2,500. Okay, and that equals $236. Okay, and then going back to our formula, we have I equals P R T, right? So I is 236. Actually, let's isolate the R first to make it easier, instead of substituting numbers then isolating the R. Here we are looking for the R, right? R is our unknown, the interest rate. So what we could do is we could say R equals I, we could divide both sides by PT, right? And PT. So R equals I over PT. Okay, so if R equals I over PT, that gives us, so I is this, 236, okay, divided by P, which is the principal. So the principal was 2,500, the initial amount borrowed, 2,500. And then T in years, right? 24 months in years is 2 years, right? And then we can just use the calculator to work this out. So 236 divided by 2,500 times 2, which is 5,000. So 236 divided by 5,000 is, let me actually write it on this line here. So this is equal to 0.0472, which is equal to, again, you move the decimal point 2 steps to the 2 places to the right. So this is equal to 4.72%. Okay. This is it for this concept. See you in the next video.